So it's Monday, August 8th, 2022. I stepped away from this car for a little bit. This is my 2005 Outback XT. Did a time belt change on it. And I found after doing the timing belt job, I wasn't able to turn the crank pulley more than about a quarter turn clockwise. When I went and did this timing belt change, when I had the original timing belt on here, I lined up all the hash marks on the intake and the exhaust sprockets coinciding with the corresponding marks on the back timing belt cover. So according to the field service manual, you line up the single hash mark here with the notch on the back of the timing belt cover, and there's also one in the bottom exhaust right there. There's a notch on the back, and you line up this single hash mark on the sprocket to the back. And for the crank pulley, you line up the hash mark on the crank position sensor cog, the little gear in the back of the crankshaft sprocket, with the notch at the right below the crankshaft position sensor right here. And same pretty much goes for the driver's side. There's a single hash mark here. You line up the hash at the notch on the back timing belt cover, and there's a corresponding single hash mark right here on the bottom pulley, and you line it up to the notch right here on the back of the timing belt cover, the back cover right here. And that was pretty much it. And I took the belt off and I put the new belt on, lining up the beginning with the dotted line on the new timing belt with the hash mark on the back of the crankshaft sprocket, which is the little crank position sensor sprocket, the little gear right here. There's a hash mark lined up with that. Lined up the marks on the passenger side right here, the line with the hash mark right here on the sprocket, and it matches pretty close to the notch on the back of the timing belt cover. Same goes for the bottom one. There's a line on the belt which corresponds to the matching up to the hash mark on the bottom sprocket, and the line runs to the notch on the back timing belt cover. Same on the driver's side. Hash mark here, single hash mark, line shoots to toward the notch on the back of the timing belt cover, maintaining corresponding hash marks right here with the cam sprocket, and single hash mark with a line to the back notch of the timing belt cover. And with the lines aligned, you want to turn the crankshaft here with a ratchet, and we go right about here, and it stops. Not quite a quarter turn, not a quarter turn, thereabouts, and there's a resistance. I took the spark plugs out, so it's not the compression. I did have the camshaft covers, valve covers off, and they were off for like a day because I had to change the valve cover gaskets. So maybe something rusted, a stuck valve maybe. But these valves on the driver, the passenger sides were closed, but these had tension on the I felt tension, so the valves, or some of the valves were probably a little open at some point. So I'm now trying to figure out why it only turns to right there. So go turn it back to alignment mark. Turns okay right there. Here we go, lined up pretty much. There. Lined up. 2 hash marks. Lined up to the bottom. There. Right there. Line's close right there. Same goes for the other side. So now it's time to figure out why it only turns that much. Something has to be stuck open or something like that.